Okay, we've listened to a lot of useful information today for job seekers. It's all been valuable advice that people can take with them anywhere. And we're also seeing that many folks are curious about what it's like to work here at Amazon. So we pulled together some questions and this great group of Amazon panelists to help us with the answers. Here with us now are Kara Hurst, Head of Worldwide Sustainability, David Bozeman, Vice President of Transportation Services, and Cherise Armour, Director of Worldwide Operations. But I'm going to let the three of you explain what your roles mean to the average person. So, David, how would you describe your job to your grandmother?
I would explain or describe my job to my grandmother like this. I lead a worldwide transportation business. It's called Amazon Transportation Services, and we tend to call it the middle mile. And the middle mile allows us to deliver millions of packages to happy customers every day. We do that through a global transportation network of sortation centers, trucks, airplanes, and we also even do returns and re-commerce in our business. Behind that, we have thousands of data scientists that help with our technology to allow our businesses run super efficient.
Awesome. Kara, what about you?
Well, I'm really happy to be here, and my job is a super fun one at Amazon. I get to think across all of our businesses, our products, our services globally, and really think about our size and our scale and how we can put that to use to help the environment. We want to both create a better practice for our own company in terms of mitigating our impact on the environment, but also invent new products, new services, new ways of doing things, new ways of operating so that we can grow our business, but also have, a healthy planet. My teams also focus on things like circular economy and social responsibility, sustainability technologies, but we do all of this with a data-driven approach and a grounding in science.
Cherise, how would your family describe what you do at Amazon?
Well, I'll be optimistic and say that they would tell you that this year I'm in a very unique role. I am supporting worldwide operations as the technical assistant to our SVP. So this is largely a developmental role where I participate in some of our C-suite meetings, mostly planning and strategy meetings with other VPs and directors across the network. This year I got to lead the project for our social distancing effort for worldwide operations, deciding how we'll go about protecting our associates and serving our customers.
Kara, what do you love about working at Amazon that you think people need to know?
What surprised me, I think, was the ability to go so deep and to question beliefs, because I think it's very unusual in a corporate environment, certainly one that's this big and where there are so many just amazing colleagues and intelligent people that I get to work with, the acceptance of challenging each other and thinking about how to inspect work, how to seek disconfirmation of your beliefs, how to really go very, very deep and go to the detailed levels, even when you're doing, in a room with other executives, you're doing a doc read. People will really dive in and get interested in your space, and they'll think very thoroughly about it and ask lots of questions. And for me, having been in the field for a long time, I didn't expect to be learning so much every single day. So that's been really exciting and surprising and challenging.
That's awesome. I love the part of the leadership principle where it talks about leaders seek to disconfirm their beliefs. That's something that I see every day at Amazon, and I think makes it very exciting to work here day after day. So, David, we received a lot of questions about Amazon's workplace culture. What's it like on your team?
Well, I have to tell you, our culture is all about the people. And if you think about it, it's the people who deliver the millions of parcels every day. It's the people who develop the technology to allow us to run efficiently every day. And it's the people who really innovate every day, little things every day to make us better. I would say we're inclusive. I'd say we are respectful. And we work hard and have fun every day in Amazon Transportation Services. It really is all about the people.
Cherise, what do you think is the most challenging thing about working at Amazon?
It's truly our pace, the pace in which we move. Amazon moves at lightning speed, and it's like no other business I've ever worked for. I truly think it's one of the major things that makes us the most successful. And so, while it is very different from other organizations, there's not a lot of the bureaucracies that you see. It does require you to be a business athlete and stay nimble and ready for change.
Kara, it seems that all companies say that they're committed to fighting climate change. How is Amazon's approach different? And can you give some examples to demonstrate how deep that commitment runs?
One of the things that has been great about Amazon is our willingness to put our scale to use for good. And so we've done a couple of different things over the last, really decades that we've been in business to think about inventing on behalf of our customers, starting with things like frustration-free packaging. That's over a decade ago, where we looked at this and said, there's a better way that we can get items to our customers where they will have less waste and the packaging can be more recyclable and it's frustration-free, right? Easy to open, no twist ties, no clamshells. And so we, I think always put with our customer obsession, put the customer first as we think about this. But we're different in the sense that we're also willing to experiment and put that scale to use to change things and change industries and send market signals. And so I think what's really great about how we've approached this is we started in terms of what does the science tell us? What do we need to do? How can we go faster? We looked at the IPCC reporting and said, we see that climate change is not only coming faster than anticipated, but the effects of climate change on the planet are more devastating than people understood. And that's even in the last couple of years. And with that, the company really pivoted very quickly. And we took that science on to say, we can go faster and we can be more ambitious. And if we can do this, we can also send a signal that other companies can join us in that. And so we have the climate pledge that we established in 2019, which I think is a huge differentiator for Amazon, both in the ambition level of that commitment, which is to be net zero carbon by 2040, which is 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement, but also in the invitation as a pledge to invite other companies among any industry to come along with us. So I think our level of ambition is differentiating. I think our approach to be inclusive and create a big tent is differentiating. And then our sincere commitment to driving that through all of our business operations.
Thank you. David, the work in your organization never slows down. How is Amazon keeping employees safe during COVID-19?
Keeping our employees safe during this worldwide pandemic, first and foremost, health and safety is the key for what we do every day at Amazon. I think we've stepped up to prove that, and we do it every day. Just this year, we spent over $800 million just in ensuring that our employees are safe. We've gone in and we've adjusted over 150 processes within our global network of buildings. We've purchased and procured tons of things such as face masks and hand sanitizer and thermal cameras and thermometers. And this has gone out through again, the entire network as we want to ensure that all of our associates are safe. We've also leveraged our talent and our skill and our leverage on technology when it comes to COVID. We've put things in place such as we had to reduce crowding, make sure we respected social distancing. This has been a big challenge in a number of our operations, but the teams have just done a fantastic job. And at Amazon, that's what you do. You come here and you figure it out, you innovate and you rebuild. And the teams have just done that. They have found ways to innovate and rebuild. We have done a lot, but we're just getting started, and we'll continue to make sure our associates, our employees are safe every day. That's what we do.
Thank you. Kara, here's another one that falls in your world. So with the pandemic, Amazon delivery is at record levels. I know I'm getting a lot more packages and Whole Foods deliveries. How are you making sure that things like packaging and delivery fuel aren't adding to the problem?
There's, really just a huge appreciation for the people who are doing that within Amazon, and then also, keeping their sort of health and safety first and foremost. Along with all of that, of course, we want to ensure that we're minimizing the packaging that products are delivered in. People want what they order. They want it fast and they want it undamaged, but they want it in minimal packaging, right? So that you don't have as much waste to dispose of in your recycling bin. And so we have a number of initiatives that we've done over the years to lightweight packaging materials, to invent new packaging materials, including a fully recyclable curbside mailer that is now available. We've looked at putting things in sort of one box, or creating programs like Amazon Day, where all your shipments can arrive at once, and consolidating boxes. So there's lots of different packaging innovations, from materials to the types of delivery that you can request. We've also, of course, looked at electrification of our fleet and other middle mile in the Amazon Transportation Services world. We've done some sustainable aviation fuel purchasing. So we're always innovating to think about how can we decarbonize the transportation options as well. When we launched the Climate Pledge, we ordered 100,000 electric vehicles from a company called Rivian, which is the largest ever order of electric vehicles. And we recently had Mercedes-Benz sign the Climate Pledge, and we ordered 1,800 vehicles from them. So there's lots of those partnerships going on to both look at the packaging materials, look at the supply chains, look at the electrification and decarbonization of all of our fleet and the ways that we deliver. We also look at things like routing optimization and how we're getting product to customer. We know from our research that the closer we can place that product to a customer, the more sustainable it is. So that was sort of an interesting insight to some of our work. People assume that maybe speed is not sustainable, but we know that our same day shipping options and ones that are sub same day are actually the most sustainable, because when we put product close to people, we can manage that, that whole delivery supply chain.
Yeah, I got to see one of those Rivians at a conference last year, and they are cool. David, you're going to have a problem. Everyone is going to be fighting over driving the Rivian vehicle once the fleet actually launches. So super exciting work, Kara. Charisse, a lot of people who are watching are trying to change fields. Are there opportunities in your organization for people with little or different backgrounds of work experience?
I mean, absolutely. Just my own experience growing up with Amazon. I've been with Amazon for 10 years, and I've worked with former police officers, former history teachers, former retail leaders, as well as former military. I myself served 4 years in the Air Force and 2 years active duty. So definitely vast opportunities. It's all about really having the abilities that we're looking for, as well as the potential.
That's great. David, what opportunities are available within your organization, and what are the things that you're looking for in candidates?
Well, first of all, I would say there are vast opportunities available, and we're looking for them all. If you think about it from the field operations standpoint, in which my colleagues talked about earlier, we have full and part-time opportunities to really work in a number of our global sortation buildings and our air hubs, moving packages along and sorting those packages through automated equipment, and sometimes through traditional material handling equipment. Those associates make the pulse and the beat happen every day. We're looking for that. We have a number of things when it comes to supply chain professionals. We are looking for professional engineers. We're looking for project managers. We're looking for data scientists. Quite frankly, Miranda, we have it all, and we cover it all. And I'm looking for a lot of them. So we want people to be excited. And there is, as my colleague said before, there's probably not an experience that you have that won't fit into Amazon. If you have the ability to want to innovate, to want to build, to want to grow, to want to have fun, we have an opportunity for you. And it could be from a technology space to an operations space. we have it and we're ready to fill it.
That's awesome. Sharice, I'm going to ask this one of you because you've been with Amazon a while and you've worn a few different hats. You've also, as you mentioned, you've been in the military. Is it hard to rise in the ranks here at Amazon?
I would say no. At the rate of growth that we've been under, if you're ready, you'll move. I think the most important things are that, you really truly own your own development. Amazon is going to equip you with the best curriculum to help you to be successful. But in addition to that, we also make available other curriculums that help to support, any sort of learning that you want outside of your, daily operation. And so that's the most important thing. And I think the second thing is like making sure that you're not always the smartest person in the room. So once you come into Amazon, developing allies with your peers, with your customers, internal customers, you definitely want to leverage all of the great talent we have in here. And I think that my progression was based off of some really great people teaching me some really good things. So, and then lastly, know your business. So dig in, understand it, but be that expert that teaches others. So.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think the piece about owning your own development is so key. Probably not just at Amazon, but for these early career professionals, anywhere you go, that's such an important piece of any job. So we've got just a couple of minutes left, and some of the most popular questions we've received so far from the audience are, how can I stand out? What makes you look twice at a candidate? Can each of you weigh in? I'll start with you, Kara.
What makes candidates stand out to me is curiosity. I love when people have thought quite a bit about, what Amazon does and the businesses that we're in and what types of things that they think that their superpowers might be a fit for, but that they also come to the process with a curiosity because as both of my colleagues here have mentioned, we have limitless opportunities in a sense. And sometimes we'll know through a conversation with you what might be a fit. And if you're open to that, it may not be what you thought was the job you're applying for. We might see a fit in a different direction. And so being flexible, being curious, asking questions, trying to learn as much as you can in the interview process about different opportunities at Amazon. We really look for people who have that, fungibility and that kind of broad runway in front of them and are willing to learn and be curious about the business and kind of think very big about their career here and where they'd like to go. So I really like people when I get into the conversation is one of those back and forth that you don't want it to end because you could talk endlessly about what you're working on and they're really excited about all the different things that are going on at Amazon. That's when I know someone's going to be successful here and when they might be a good fit.
Sharice, what about you?
I think Kara said everything. No, no, I think the only thing that I could add to what she said, because I would say the same thing, is be yourself. I think it's so important that you teach us who you are as we tell you about who we are. And I think that by just being as conversational in your discussions as you can, and I think it helps us to identify fit and make sure that the decisions that we're both making make sense for the business and for you.
All right, David, round us out.
Boy, hard to round out after all of that. But I would say this. You have to come here, ask questions, and do something that we talk about in Amazon. Be vocally self-critical. That's how you stand out. And what we mean by that is you hold a mirror up to yourself. And none of us are perfect. And we don't expect people to be perfect. But we do expect people to say, hey, this is something I can improve on. But guess what? This is something that I can bring to Amazon. Be fearless. Have the energy to want to build. Have the energy to also understand customers. If you want to stand out, understand customers when you come here and understand why we're obsessed with customers. Bring that energy and say, I want to be part of a team that puts the smile on millions of customers' lives every day, and you'll stand out.
All right, thank you so much for being with us to address what's on the mind of many in our audience. So much valuable information and some great takeaways. Back to you, David.